Hello. Hi everyone. Welcome to Friday Night Knits. My name is Becky and I'm coming to you from Midland, Texas. This is episode 14. It's Saturday, August 13th. And so welcome aboard to my knitting podcast. If this is your first time visiting, I hope you enjoy it. If you are a returning viewer, you are awesome. I appreciate you checking me out and coming back and watching me more than once or twice. And so last week was awful with episode 13. I don't know what was up with it, other than possibly it was jinxed being number 13. But I recorded it, edited it on a app that I had found that I'd done, I think, at least 2 others episodes on, and put in all of the information on the screen, had a bunch of pictures from vacation added on to the end. I was really impressed with my editing, and then the file kept getting corrupted and wouldn't save right to upload to YouTube, and just I was so over it by the time I finally changed back to a app I had used before that I saved it, tacked on a beginning, tacked on an end. It actually uploaded, or it saved correctly, and I just uploaded it to YouTube without putting any information on the screen or anything. So I apologize for that. I did do show notes on the projects themselves in my Ravelry group, so you can check me out there if you really need any information from last week. Speaking of, let me introduce myself. Like I said, I'm Becky. You can find me as Becky Ray on Ravelry and Instagram. I'm Becky and Homer on Periscope. Pretty much just a Periscope viewer. Haven't done any live periscoping yet myself. I think mostly because I really do live a pretty boring, uneventful life. So, and I don't think I can handle the trolls that people get. I'm pretty sure I would lose it if somebody logged on just to tell me I was fat and ugly. I know I'm fat. I know I'm old. I don't need some schmo on the other end of a screen typing it out. So, not sure I would handle that well. As with much grace as I've seen, like, Sue handle trolls saying weird, crazy stuff. I mean, I don't get it. To each their own, I guess, but I just don't think I'd be that nice. Not sure I could keep my mouth of a sailor in check on Periscope either, because I might just go off. But other than finally getting my episode uploaded, it got me thinking on future episodes. What I think I'm going to go ahead and start looking into doing is moving my PC into my craft room and investing in a camera and a microphone, because sound is one of the biggest complaints I get. So really work on that and do a thing, get it together, become a real podcaster, which is kind of freaky. But hey, it could turn out for the best, so who knows. I did say this is a knitting podcast, so let's talk about what's on my needles. I did work on my Madewell. I think I did 1 or 2 rows since last episode. It's in my Miss Brown's bag. This is the Knit to Live, Live to Knit bag for Miss Brown's bags. And again, Madewell by Joji Locatelli. And I'm using the Lemonade Shop Goldfish colorway yarn. I think this is the Mighty Sock, which is 80/20. and I love it. Super excited. I should really get on it though, because I really would like to enter it into Sue's cow. I was just kind of combining those words, and which I believe ends at the end of September, so I should get on that. What else am I working on? So my other project that I've been going and blowing on is my monkey socks. Oh, the Madewell is on size 4 needles. I'm trying to get better at that kind of thing. So my monkey socks are in my Brazen Stitchery Game of Thrones bag. Here you go, monkey socks. I just started these last week. This is Milky Robot yarn, and the colorway is Pom Pom. I love it. They're gorgeous. I found a use for 12-inch circulars. The 9-inch, you kind of have to hold your breath and still pick up stitches. Trying to try it on and put it on the sock blocker, so I transferred it to the 12-inch to show y'all, and then after the episode I'm going to try them on my foot one more time to see just how big we are and how much farther I need to go before the toe decrease. But I may have said this last week. I went up to the right size, the 2.75 or 1.5 US needles, but I went up to 72 stitches instead of 64. The reason I went up to 72 instead of 68, just adding 4, is this is a 16 stitch repeat, and I didn't want to add just 1 stitch in there, so I added 2. So now it's an 18 stitch repeat, and I put my stitches the beginning and at the end of a repeat, so the wider is on the purl section is where I added where the extra stitch sits in the pattern. Does that make sense? Anyway, so it's looking really good. It is a little loose, a little big, but I think that's going to be okay. I also changed up the heel flap. It was written with just a stockinette heel flap, and I didn't like it, so I went and did the Eye of Partridge, and I love the way Eye of Partridge looks with speckled yarn. It's so cool. And then a square or Dutch heel for the heel turn, and that was very nice. I did 6 repeats in the leg, and I'm on the 4th repeat on the foot. It's going to be at least 5 repeats, maybe a 6th one in there, but maybe not, before I start decreasing for the toe. And I haven't decided which toe I'm going to do, if I'm just going to do your typical decreased toe or look at maybe a rounded toe or something. I don't know. I'll find something to do with it. So that's the only other thing I'm knitting on. I did last week talk to y'all about the Little Aspen, and I asked permission. So there is the Little Aspen on Little Sloan. That's her daddy Sean holding her. We went to a wedding last night and she wore it to the wedding. So cute. She got a lot of compliments on it while we were there, and Nikki kept pointing over to me, she made it, she made it. So I love it. She's adorable, and that's pretty much all I've been knitting on. Kind of lame, but you know, I've had a lot of other things on my mind this week. My father had bypass surgery yesterday. He's doing fine. They were expecting to do triple or quadruple bypass, so the fact that they only had to do a double bypass, really, the surgeons feel really good about his outcome. So I'm pretty relieved. He lives in the Dallas area. So I have not gone to see him because that's a 6-hour drive. So I may make a weekend out of it in a couple weeks once he's home to go see him and check on him. But that really kind of stressing out over that and stressing out over getting getting episode 13 to upload kind of messed with my knitting mojo a few nights out of the week. So that's all I've done knit-wise. But I've had a great week. I got a couple of really cool things in the mail, so let's talk about them. The first thing I'm going to show you is my new Miss Brown's bag. This one here. It's my first one of hers with the fabric that she has custom printed from giant swatches she makes using different indie dyers yarns. So this is a Lemonade Shop colorway. I think it's actually two. I think it's Toxic Oreo and something else. I'll look it up and put it on the screen. So love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And that makes my third Miss Brown's bag. I love her bags, and these are my favorite size. It's the same size as this one, so it easily holds 2 skeins of yarn, and it's just, they're so well made. The inside of this one is light cream colored fabric with white flowers. So cute. So put that in my empty bags. So that's all I've been doing knitting. And the other big giant thing I got in the mail, I'm wearing it. Do y'all love it? Do you love it? This is, I don't know if y'all follow Stephen West on Instagram or Facebook or on Ravelry, but he had a big D-stash. And what he was D-stashing was his sample shawls. So I couldn't not get one. Ooh. I knew I was going to get one when he first started talking about this. So this is the one I ended up getting. It's gigantic. It is knit in DK weight. So let's just, yeah, there's 1, 2, I'm showing y'all, 3, like 4 arm lengths long. It's humongous. Hello, Becky. Just about knocked myself out. So, ginormous. It is knit with the main body, these 3 colors. Is knit with Old Maiden, is it Old Maiden? Old Maiden Ant yarns. And this is Toasted. And this is Grige and Hebridean, or Toasted Grige Hebridean, or, you know, those are the colors. It's an 80 alpaca, 20 silk DK blend, and the edging is Shiburi Knits 100% baby alpaca in the jumpsuit colorway. Ooh, look at that fat arm. So, it's fabulous. I love it. My husband even thinks it's pretty spiffy. He's, when I was like, feel it, touch it, touch it. He was, oh, it does feel good. So, I can't wait for it to get a little bit chilly so I can wrap completely up in it and wear my Stephen West shawl around town. He not only sent the shawl, but he sent pattern books. So I have a few new Stephen West pattern books to add to my collection. Book 2, this is from 2011. he looks so tame in this picture compared to now, and it's kind of weird. You almost don't recognize him. I love his pattern books, though. He always takes, there's always beautiful pictures in them of the book and people, the book, of the pattern or the knitted object, and the people. He has fun stories in here. He has in the back, he'll have a gallery from his test knitters. I believe is who they are, but just their knitting deals. He talks about his models, maybe not in this one. Yeah, talks about the models, abbreviations. So this was book 2. Book 3 is one of my favorites, and I actually own the ebook of book 3. I think I even have a physical copy of it. I don't remember. And all of my knitting books are pretty much packed in somewhere. But there's several things I love in this book. Moose River. It's a gigantic cabled cow, and it's gorgeous. Seaway. This is hilarious because I didn't realize this till I read that in this book. That guy right there is a reporter in Iceland, and he wanted to interview Stephen, and Stephen wouldn't do the interview unless the guy modeled a hat. So he ended up in the book. That's just so funny, and that's such a great hat. My favorite hat that I've ever knit for a friend is a pattern from Stephen that I got out of this book, and that's the Dustland hat. Doesn't hurt that model is beautiful. And there's also Dustland mitts. Very different textured beautifulness. So there's the giant blanket, and there's even a felted bag in this pattern book. So that's pattern book 3. Book 4 has the bolting in it, and the scroll string band. So there's several patterns that I love in this one. There's bolting, which is another huge schlanket. So it's really excited about. I love this hat. The Vera twist is just funky. And yeah. Book 4. And book 5 is Stephen West and Cyrilla Rose. Cyrilla Rose. And this one is really cool because I had never heard of Cyrilla, but that's her, in this really cool colorwork scarf that's knit in the round. And they each did a pair of arm warmer mitts. His Esjun is in here, which is a beautiful pattern. He's done several versions of it. But I think my favorite pattern in this book is this sweater right here. I love that, and I want to knit it. So, just really cool. Some fun hats. And the Sulfar, which is another cool, that's more of a poncho shawl from Stephen. So, book 5. And then he also put in some single patterns. The Flamboyant, which is really cool shawl. The Drangy pullover. Try not to show any pattern details. Drangy pullover. And this hat that I'm not going to butcher the name of. but I love this hat. It's knit with 2 strands of fingering weight held double, and I love it. So that has gifts for Christmas written all over it. Hofsas hat. Hofsas hat. It's probably not how you say that, but hey. So that was the big giant party in my mailbox. I actually had been tracking it from the Netherlands, and I gotta say the Netherlands tracking is really cool because it carried over into the US, which a lot of those don't do. And so I was following it, and it actually attempted to deliver it on Thursday, but apparently they needed a signature, so she took it back to the post office. My mail carrier did, and so I got up first thing Friday morning and was gonna run over to the post office before I had to be at work. And one of my dear friends works at the post office, and she knows everything that's going on in that place. So I get there Friday morning at like 5 after 8, like 5 minutes after they open. I get in line. By 8:10, I'm in the parking lot. I've picked up my package, signed for it, picked up my package, and I'm outside. And my phone, I get a text from Lori, my friend, saying, you have a package, needs to be signed for, and if you can't make it by 5, let me know. I'll sign for it and bring it to game on Saturday. And you can pick it up at game on Saturday, because we game at her house. And I just laughed, and I was like, I'm in the parking lot, just picked it up. She was like, oh, I can see you out my office window. So I'm in the parking lot waving like a mad woman. And she came out to talk for a little while, and I told her, I said, yeah, it contains something that I've been dying to get a hold of, so can't wait to have it. So I promised her I'd bring it to game tonight for her to pet. And her husband likes his house very cold, so she will appreciate the shawl, and I probably can use it tonight when I go. Isn't that a cute mug? It's an old Starbucks mug. I love it. From my Starbucks days. I'm drinking up some iced coffee. But yeah, so I'm loving it. I wish you all could just pet it because it's amazing. What else have I got going on? That's like it for cool stuff in my mailbox. I do have one other new acquisition, but I can't find it. And it's just pom-pom makers I found at Target. They had these cute, they've got a really cute new like crafty area at Target, and one of the things they had were these little wooden animals with 2 legs coming down for to wrap yarn around for pom-poms. And they were extra large, large, medium, small, and extras, and tiny. I believe there were 5. Extra large, large, regular, small, tiny. Yeah. And they were different animals. Like the extra large was an elephant. I believe it was a horse, a dog, maybe a cat and a mouse. Maybe? I don't know. But they were very cute, but I don't know what I've done with them. So I'll show y'all when I find them. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I've got acquisition-wise. We can talk some Blythe acquisitions. I don't have a new doll, but I have some new clothes. And, let's see. And sure enough, they're Moadib 05. John, I talked about John Baines before. First is, I got this little cape and little t-shirt with the bee on it. A superhero cape, and he put it's slightly boned-ish, so that it holds its shape pretty well. You can do crazy stuff with it. I got this before I went on vacation, and just haven't shown y'all yet, but it's adorable. The little t-shirt is so well made with the little bee on it for Blythe. The mask is from Kyle Ruth. She's my favorite person that makes Blythe outfits. She's the one that makes the little button arcade with the pockets. I need to do a button arcade blowout like I've done with John and like Jessica, and so, but the little mask is cool. And this is Hypo. I don't think I've shown her much to y'all. She's a older custom by Megan, who was Minklet, although all of her customs, I guess, now would be called older because she hasn't done them in ages and ages, but she's really cool. She's translucent skin. She's really, really, compared to like a Homer. Now the stand's got my finger. So see how pale she is compared to Homer? And how her skin's got that translucentness to it. And you can really tell in her body, her arms, see how pale they are and how see-through almost her fingers are. She's, the unfortunate thing with translucents is they stain real easy. And I changed her today. She's been wearing these pants that pretty sure did that to her legs. That pink glow right there is, and then she has these weird, these were here I think before I got her, but you know, I don't judge them by their faults. They're my girls anyway. I'm gonna put her kick-ass boots back on her and she could be a superhero. She'd fly away. So I got that from John, and then he made these awesome jackets. He bought this fabric in San Francisco. It's crazy. And he took a jacket class, sewing class in San Francisco, a little workshop. Can you see that? So look at the man. It's a naked man. Lounging in flowers. There's bumblebees. This man totally, can y'all say Burt Reynolds in the Cosmopolitan Centerfold? Totally. I loved it. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to grab one of these jackets, and I'd kind of admitted to myself that he only made a certain number and I'm probably not going to be able to score one. And I looked at the time, and it was right at the time he was going to do the update. And so just so y'all know, it's not just yarn updates. There's Blythe clothing updates that can be just as crazy, if not crazier. And I hopped on, and there was still one in his shop, and I grabbed it and boom, got it. So here's the cool thing. It's got these little Swarovski pearl buttons, and it's reversible, guys. Look at this beautiful fabric on the inside. And on this side, there's pockets that are lined with the red. Well, I guess the red from the other side shows through, but the little pocket. And he did a heart on one sleeve of each jacket. Just love it. And, you know, Homer immediately wanted to put on gold lame shorts with it and black go-go boots, because that's just how she rolls. So this is the latest Blythe acquisition we got, and I adore it, and I'm trying really hard to behave myself and save a little money, but these little plastic girls are demanding in their clothing. I have decided, though, I need a boy Blythe. I've always wanted a boy Blythe. There's a few that customize them, and when I first wanted one several years ago, it's been 5 years at least, they just weren't as cute, and they looked, it's hard to describe how they looked pretty good, but no one had kind of gotten it just right. And there's a new customizer out there. He's a younger guy, and he makes boys that are so cute. So I think that's the only thing I really want doll-wise right now, is I want a boy Blythe now to add to my collection. Of course, then I'll have to buy boy clothes for it. More jeans, more t-shirts, cool stuff. Yeah. Blythe, that's all I got for them. What else do I want to talk about? I don't know her name, but it's a viewer. Her name, her screen name is Fairy Princess Couture. She's on Instagram and YouTube. she has an Etsy shop, but it's not Yarny related. She's more of a Blythe doll, ball joint doll person, but she's knitting is not entirely new to her, but I think she's branching out with her knitting. And she's been watching a while. She comments every now and then on my podcast, and it's really cool when she does. We were talking one day because she spotted the doodler I had, my doodler, which is right here. It was hanging up behind me for a while, and she asked me if that's what it was, and was telling me that she was going to make a doodler. And she was having a few issues with it, so we were messaging back and forth on Instagram and walking her through some of the problems or, issues she was having with understanding the pattern and getting it right. So it was a lot of fun, and I think she's completed it now. Last week she was binding off, so she had decided to make up her own bind offs, which is so cool, and I can't wait to see the complete finished object. But when she sent me pictures of the first part done, the big wing, and then I helped her understand the cables, and when she sent me pictures of all her cables completed, it was so cool to see and to help somebody figure that out. I really enjoyed it, and I sent her a message saying, I'm not sure I've ever asked your name, but maybe if she sends me that before I'm editing, I can say, hey. So, hey, Fairy Princess Couture. I believe she's in Australia. And, yeah. But she's got really beautiful photographs. She's started a pair of socks, so she's got one done. And it's really cool to see people learning new stuff and venturing out. And them attributing some of that to you. So that's really awesome. I was super impressed with that, and I'm glad I could help her out with her doodler. And I can't wait to see pictures of it completely finished and her wearing it and it being awesome. And what else do I got? I'm saying and a lot, so that probably means I'm pretty close to done. Yeah, I think that's it. So I think I'm good. You guys have how many minutes we got? Let's see, like half an hour. My timer is in white, and those curtains and blinds behind me are in white, so I can never tell how long my podcasts are. But hey, thanks for sticking around and watching episode 14. Hopefully I figure out my issues with uploading and get things done in a timely manner, or fix things. And whew, it's like 92 degrees today. It's way too hot to be wearing this, but it's so pretty. So pretty. Oh, look, I am wearing my Circle of Stitches shirt, Josie. Circle of Stitches across the boobage. That was probably not what y'all signed up for. But hey, y'all have a great day. I hope y'all go out, have fun, do some crazy things. And I will see y'all next week.